Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm super excited to walk you through a project I've been working on, which is a YouTube summarizer script that will save you hours of watching time while still delivering all the key takeaways from any YouTube video. We're going to delve into how the script works behind the scenes, real life business examples to give you some ideas of how this could add value to your day-to-day work, some background on the LLM we're going to leverage for all this work. And obviously, at the very end, we're going to go through a code walkthrough of everything needed to set up the summarizer. So buckle up because by the end of this video, you'll be able to transform any YouTube link into an insightful summary in just a few clicks. Let's talk about the overall objectives of this summarizer. First, we need to extract the video ID from the link that we pass into the script. Next, we need to use the YouTube transcript API. YouTube is kind enough to offer an API for pulling the subtitles or the transcript from videos if they are available. Then we do save the transcript that is being fetched locally as a text file in case we want to reference it at a later point. But we also split it into manageable chunks so that we don't run into any errors due to the size of the text. There might be some limitations in terms of how much text we can actually pass into our LLM. Next, we need to call our summarizer service through the Grok client. In case you want to know how to set up Grok, it's fairly straightforward. I have a video on this on my channel, so check it out. For the LLM itself, we leverage Gamma, which is a neat model developed by Google. Chews up all the text chunks and generates bullet points covering key ideas, topics, intended audience, you name it. And obviously, you can personalize that, and I'll show you how to do that later. Finally, we stitch all those chunks together into one beautiful cohesive summary. It's going to have all the important parts of the video in bullet format without you having to watch the whole video. So hopefully it's going to save you a ton of time. So why could the summarizer be useful for your business or personal brand? Here's some good use cases to consider. Number one, media monitoring and competitive analysis. If you're in marketing or just curious about what your competitors are doing, you can automatically summarize videos to spot trends fast. It's like scanning their entire channel without binge watching every single upload. If one of the summaries sparks your interest, you can always go back to the video and watch the full thing. Number two, content marketing and creation. Summaries can be repurposed into blog posts, newsletters, social media updates, you name it. With the script, you won't have to hire someone to watch a 30-minute product demo and painstakingly craft a summary. That's time and money saved. Number three, knowledge sharing. Imagine summarizing internal training videos or webinars into quick bullet points and references. With a summarizer, all that knowledge is distilled quickly. Finally, your support team can turn long tutorial videos into concise FAQs. That way, you can give your customers what they need before they even ask. All right, now let's talk about the star behind the summarizer, which is the language model we're using called Gemma. Gemma is an open, lightweight language model developed by Google. Think of it as a balance between powerful capabilities and efficient resource usage. It has roughly 9 billion parameters, which means it strikes a sweet spot between high quality output and not being overly massive. So it's easier on the hardware. We don't need very specialized hardware to run this model, which is good. It uses bfloat 16 precision, which is like a lightweight way of handling big numbers without sacrificing too much accuracy. This helps it run faster and uses up less memory. Again, this is the reason we don't need very specialized, high-performing hardware to run this model. We're obviously using Grok, so we don't have to be overly concerned with this. It can process up to 8,192 tokens at a time, which is perfect for summarizing longer YouTube videos. That's how we're able to feed in bigger transcripts without losing key details. So basically, to summarize this, Gemma lets us handle bigger chunks of text faster and more efficiently. And this really keeps our summaries thorough while cutting out the fluff. In this segment, I'm going to show you exactly how our YouTube Summarizer code works, step by step. By the end of this walkthrough, you'll understand how we're extracting the video ID, fetching transcripts, and generating those handy bullet point summaries, all with just a few lines of Python and the power of Gemma via the Grok client. Let's jump in. We start by importing a few essential libraries. I'm going to call out the first three, which are basic Python utilities for file handling, regular expressions, and JSON operations. The next two we can skip. They're mainly used for logging and making sure that our code is more readable. You can skip them. The remaining two are important. This is our YouTube transcript API, and this library gives us a neat way to grab the transcript from YouTube. And then Grok is our gateway to calling the summarization capabilities of Gemma. Now let's talk about extracting the YouTube video ID. There are really two formats that we need to be able to handle. They both probably look familiar. It's this one and then this one. We first check if the URL has a v parameter, so that's this format over here. If so, we split that out to find the unique ID. If not, we use a regular expression to look for a shortened link in this format over here. And then if all else fails, we raise an error because we just can't get the crucial ID, and that's this over here. All right, once we have that video ID, we need the transcript. So first we need to call out to the YouTube API and pass in our video ID. We do that over here. If everything goes smoothly, we get back a list of transcript segments. We then join all the segments together with a space to form a continuous transcript string. If something fails, like the transcript isn't available, we log an error and return none. Okay, now that we have our transcript in memory, we also want to store it for safekeeping, which is basically what we do with this function over here. The save transcript function writes a transcript to a local file. We just call it transcript.txt by default. It's a simple operation, but super important for referencing the original text later if you need to. Now the fun part, creating the summary using Gemma. We create a system message instructing Gemma on how we want the summary to be formatted. This is this block over here. We basically specify bullet points for key ideas, topics, audience, structure and flow, and also unique insights, all clearly labeled so we get exactly the information we need. Obviously, in your own script, you can change this, right? We then pass the transcript to Gemma via the Grok client, which then calls the underlying API with our instructions. This is where the magic happens, transforming large blocks of raw text into key bullet points. Once the response comes back, we simply return it as our shiny summary over here. But what happens if we hit a snag, like the text chunk is too large? That's what the save summarize chunk function over here is all about. It's essentially our safety net. It calls the summary function over here, but if we run into a request to large error, we split the text into half and try again up to a certain depth. If it still fails, we raise an exception. but most of the time, splitting the text fixes this issue and we get our summary in the end. This means we can handle pretty large transcripts, which is super handy for long videos. Now, how do we decide how big each text chunk should be? That's where the chunk text function comes in over here. We split the transcript into sentences based on the period and space. We build chunks until we reach our max character limit, ensuring we don't cut off mid-sentence. Once the chunk is big enough, we store it in a list, then move on to the next chunk. By chunking the text properly, we keep gamma summarization calls well within safe limits. So after chunking the text, how do we get one nice cohesive summary? This is what this function is all about. Inside summarize video, we first call chunk text over here to split the transcript into manageable pieces. For each chunk, we run let me see, save summarize chunk function so we can handle large or tricky transcripts gracefully. We gather each chunk's summary in a list and then join them with a new line, basically creating a combined summary of all the video's content. Finally, we pass that combined summary back into save summarized chunk one more time, and that final call to gamma consolidates everything into a single unified summary of the entire video. All right, now that we have all those helper functions, how do we actually run them? That is what's happening in the main function. Here we first set our Grok API key, which is an environment variable for authentication with the Grok client. Mine is blurred out. If you want to get your own, check out my first video on my channel. It's fairly straightforward. We then prompt the user for a YouTube URL and then run extract video ID on it. We fetch and save the transcript and finally call summarize video. If everything works, we print out the summary right in the terminal or here in our Jupyter notebook. So let me actually run this. I'm gonna use an example of a video where someone reviews the Lufthansa first class experience. Um, I like those kind of videos. I'm going to link it in the description of this video. I recommend you check it out. So here you can tell we do get a good summary of what the video is all about, intended audience, obviously luxury travelers, frequent flyers, goes over the structure, and it talks about amenities and entertainment, in-flight service, seat features. So it gives you a pretty good idea of what the video is all about if you truly want to understand how the Lufthansa first class experience is. Obviously, you would then have to either read the transcript that this Python script also generates, or you can just watch the video. All right, that's it. If you found this walkthrough helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to drop a comment below if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.